The bar was almost empty when the glass shattered. Not from a fight. Not from a drunk. From a tired man's hand that finally let go. Jake Harlan sat on the last stool, staring at the broken tumbler of cheap whiskey bleeding across the scarred oak. The bartender had already turned away. He'd seen worse. Jake hadn't meant to drop it. He'd just stop holding on for 1 second. 1 second was all it took these days. His phone buzzed on the bar top. A photo of his daughter, Mia, age 7, gap-toothed and grinning in dinosaur pajamas. The text beneath it from his sister, "She's asking for you again. Third night this week." He closed his eyes. The oncology ward smelled like antiseptic and green jello. MIA's hair was gone now, replaced by a knit cap with tiny embroidered stars. She still asked for daddy stories before the morphine pulled her under. He hadn't told her he'd been laid off 2 weeks ago. He hadn't told her the insurance ran out next month. He hadn't told her anything except, "I'll be right back, baby. Daddy just has to take care of something." The something was sitting in an empty bar on a Tuesday night with $12 in his checking account and a shattered glass he couldn't pay for. That was when she spoke. "I've got it," a low, steady voice said beside him. Jake turned. A woman in a charcoal coat that probably cost more than his truck slid onto the stool next to his. She placed a black credit card on the bar without looking at the bartender. Her dark hair was pulled back severely, cheekbones sharp enough to cut ice, but her eyes, storm grey and tired, were fixed on the broken glass, not him. "You didn't have to do that," he muttered. "I know," she said. "But broken things should be paid for. It's a rule I have." The bartender swept away the shards and poured her a neat vodka. She didn't touch it. Jake rubbed a hand over his beard. "Rough day." "Rough year," she corrected. "You." He laughed, a sound like gravel. "Try rough life." She tilted her head, studying him the way people study stock reports, quick, clinical, deciding whether to buy or sell. Then she did something he didn't expect. She stayed. Not to flirt. Not to network. Just to sit. Two strangers at the end of the world, sharing silence like bread. After 10 minutes, she finally spoke again. "What's her name?" Jake's heart stuttered. "How did you?" "You keep looking at your phone like it's the only light left in the universe. That's either a kid or a very clingy ex. And you don't strike me as the clingy ex type." He exhaled. "Mia. 7. Leukemia." The words scraped coming out. He never said them aloud anymore. They hurt too much. The woman's fingers tightened almost imperceptibly around her glass. "I'm sorry." "Yeah. Me too." Another silence. Then, "I'm Elena." "Jake." "I know," she said, surprising him again. "Your card declined." Name popped up on the machine. Harlan. Jake Harlan. Used to be lead foreman at Carson Steel before they shut the South plant. He stared. "You ran a background check in 30 seconds. "I own the company that bought Carson Steel," she said quietly. 3 months ago. I signed the layoffs myself." The air left his lungs. Of all the bars, of all the nights. He stood so fast the stool clattered backward. "Then you can go to hell." He was halfway to the door when her voice stopped him. "I came here tonight because I couldn't sleep," she called after him. "Because every time I close my eyes I see the list of 412 names I put out of work so my board would stop screaming about margins. Yours was on it. I remembered it because it had a note. Single father, daughter in treatment. I told HR to keep you. They said it would look like favoritism. I let them talk me out of it." He turned slowly. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she said. "I'm just telling you why I paid for the glass." Jake stood there, fists clenched, breathing like he'd run 10 miles. Then he walked back, righted the stool, and Saturday. "I hate you," he said. "I know," she answered. They sat like that until closing. She came back the next night. He told himself he only returned because Mia was asleep early and his sister needed a break. But when he pushed through the door and saw Elena already there, same stool, same vodka untouched, he felt something shift inside his chest like a locked door creaking open. She didn't smile. Just pushed a bowl of peanuts toward him. "I looked up MIA's GoFundMe," she said without preamble. "You're $63,000 short for the new trial at Sloan Kettering." He froze. "You had no right." I know that too. She met his eyes. I'm not offering to pay it. Good. Because I wouldn't take blood money from the woman who took your job. I remember. She took a slow sip of the vodka, her first. I'm offering something else. He waited. I'm offering to sit here every night until you don't hate me anymore. Or until you do. Whichever comes first. He laughed despite himself. You've got a strange way of apologizing, lady. I don't apologize, she said. I fix things. But some things can't be fixed with money. So I'm trying the only thing left. Night after night, she came. Some nights he ignored her. Some nights he yelled. Some nights he cried into his beer while she sat silently beside him, a lighthouse in a suit. She learned he built things with his hands, furniture, treehouses, dreams. He learned she built things with her mind, empires, firewalls, walls so high no one ever reached her. She learned Mia loved dinosaurs and the color purple. He learned Elena had no family left, no friends who weren't on payroll, and a penthouse so quiet she could hear her own heartbeat echo. One night, 3 weeks in, Mia had a bad reaction to chemo. Jake showed up shaking, eyes red, barely holding it together. Elena didn't speak. She simply stood, took his hand, and led him outside into the cold. She hailed a cab, gave the driver an address he didn't recognize, and held his hand the entire ride. They ended up on a rooftop garden 30 stories above the city. Fairy lights strung between lemon trees. A telescope pointed at the stars. My mother used to bring me here when I was a kid, she said softly. Before she died. Before everything got complicated. She handed him a blanket from a cedar chest. They sat on the edge, legs dangling over Manhattan. I can't fix Mia, she whispered. I can't give you your job back without starting a riot at the company. I can't undo any of it. But I can give you this. One night where the world is quiet. He looked at her then, really looked. The sharp edges had softened in the moonlight. She looked small. I don't hate you anymore, he said. She closed her eyes like the words were a gift she'd never expected. Thank God, she breathed. Winter came hard. Mia got worse. Then, impossibly, better. The new trial accepted her. Someone had anonymously paid the deposit. Jake knew who. He didn't fight it this time. He started working odd jobs, fixing bars, building shelves for old ladies, anything that kept his hands busy and money coming in. Elena started showing up at the hospital in jeans and hoodies. No security, no pretense. She read Mia dinosaur books in a voice that made the little girl giggle until the monitors beeped too fast. One afternoon, Mia tugged Elena's sleeve. Are you my dad's girlfriend? She asked with 7-year-old bluntness. Elena flushed scarlet. Jake nearly dropped the coffee he was bringing. I don't know, Elena said honestly. What do you think? Mia considered this with grave seriousness. You make him smile again. That's pretty good. Jake met Elena's eyes over the hospital bed. Something electric passed between them. That night, after Mia fell asleep, he found Elena in the hallway staring out the window at falling snow. Hey, he said softly. Hey. I have a question. She turned. Shoot. Will you go on a date with me? A real one. Not in a bar. Not in a hospital. Just us. Her smile was slow and dazzling and terrified all at once. Yes, she said. God, yes. Their first date was pizza on the floor of his tiny apartment because Mia insisted on gatecrashing. Elena showed up in a dress that cost more than his rent wearing dinosaur socks Mia had picked out for her. They ate Hawaiian pizza, MIA's favorite, and watched Jurassic Park for the 100th time. Later, after Mia was tucked in, Jake and Elena stood on his crumbling balcony sharing a beer. I never thought I'd get a second chance, he said quietly. At anything. I never thought I'd get a first, she answered. He kissed her then, slow and reverent, like she was something holy he was afraid to break. Spring arrived with miracles. MIA's scans came back clean. The doctors used the word remission like it was made of gold. Jake got hired by a small custom furniture company that had mysteriously received a large anonymous investment to expand and offer full benefits. He knew whose signature was on the check. On the night Mia came home for good, Jake cooked spaghetti with store-brand sauce and a cake that leaned dangerously to one side. Elena arrived with balloons and a purple triceratops bigger than Mia.